On our bull versus bear segment, we have Finolex in the spotlight as well, and Puneet Johnson to talk about the increase, or Puneet, dare I say, a very strong intraday increase after a 3-day decline, but then a pullback as well.
Well, definitely, and one of the key reasons for this pullback might be some of the more, finer print of the import duty as well as the restrictions. So let's look at the first bull and bear case for Finolex, and then we'll just take a minute to explain what has actually happened. So India has, of course, imported an anti-dumping duty on Chinese PVC paste resin. Now that is separate from the PVC resin that is used specifically for manufacturing pipes, which players like Finolex, Astral or Supreme do. So it's not specifically on the raw material that is used for the piping companies. It's on the PVC paste resin, which is used for, across the board, like gloves, for toys, basically, essentially the softening and using those materials. So it's separate from the PVC resin, and hence that could be one of the key reasons for, Finolex Industries falling from the highs, because it couldn't be directly benefiting the pipes business, but the PVC resin business. Now, essentially, PVC paste resin is made from PVC resin, and hence, while there is a restriction of import of PVC resin and the paste, essentially, that could benefit the second and the smallest segment for something like a Finolex Industries. And while that clarification has been there out in the media since Friday, I think currently traders and investors are taking notice of that aspect. So essentially, just to be clear again, it's on the PVC paste resin and not on PVC resin, the import duty, and hence might see some pullback as well. When you look at the second bull and bear case is, of course, the resin volume. Now that is a smaller segment for the other players like Supreme and Astral, but it almost forms roughly about 30 to 40% in terms of revenue, and that has grown over the last 2 quarters specifically for Finolex. But on the other side, the pipe segment has been lagging, and the EBIT per kg almost fell by 60% in the Q3 of FY25 and compared to the same time last year as well. Let's look at the third aspect, which is the appointment of a new MD. Now, they have made that change here. New MD comes in, Mr. Saurabh, for the next 2 years specifically, but they've lost a company veteran here in Mr. Ajit Venkatraman. He's been speaking to us over the last couple of years. So definitely the management change is something to watch out for. And finally, in terms of valuations as well, currently trading at the lowest versus its other peers at 20 times price to earnings, but better inventory management for Supreme as well as Astral, which we've seen over the last couple of quarters just because of PVC volatility. That could be something that's been weighing on the valuations, as well as the capacity that Astral and Supreme have developed over the last few years. I just want to highlight a couple of more points here specifically. What this particular PVC resin might be, benefiting players specifically, like Astral and Supreme. The PVC segment forms a material aspect for Finolex, and hence that is one of the key aspects, because for players like Supreme and Astral, the PVC resin segment is quite smaller. So hence there is a slight benefit to Finolex shareholders, but overall it's smaller in the mainstream. And the BIS quality standard is something which is yet to come in June of 2025. So it might not be a bull case as of now, but will be in the future. It has been delayed, and hence we're seeing that kind of EBITDA erosion. Lower price volatility in PVC prices, it's not a bear case, it's something that could be watched out for going forward. So essentially, there are multiple valuation triggers on the positive side, but the business fundamentals might be a little shaky for Finolex Industries compared with its peers.